30 Days to a Better Man. Written by MCKAY. Day 18. Find your NUTS. Nuts. One of the most important challenges facing every good man who wants to be better is to know exactly what he's committed to. Without a clear understanding of what is acceptable and what is not, a man is unfettered and likely to find himself down a path of compromise, resentment, and despair. So, what's a better man to do? Find his nuts and maintain a firm grasp. NUTS are your non-negotiable, unalterable terms. Nuts are the things you're committed to, the things that matter more than anything else. Your kids, your career, your primary relationships, yourself, your purpose, your spiritual practice, your hobbies, your integrity, your morals, and your psychological well-being. Nuts are the boundaries that define you as man. Those things which, if repeatedly compromised, will gradually but assuredly turn you into a pissed-off, resentful man who will likely blame others for your unhappiness. Your nuts are uniquely yours. They reflect who you are as a man and the man you want to be. Compromise your nuts and you'll compromise yourself. Compromise yourself too often and you'll become an extremely unhappy man, husband, and father. Sample nuts. Here's a short list of non-negotiable, unalterable terms provided by the men of our Better Man community. This will give you an idea of the nuts that men like you have developed for themselves in their efforts to be the men they've always wanted to be. I am faithful to my wife. I say what I want. Compassion for my family trumps my need to be right. I replace doubt with acts of faith. I am a risk taker. I devote at least 3 hours a week to my writing. I live in accordance with my religious faith. I do what I believe is in the best interest of my kids, even if they disagree. My commitment to my children comes before anything else. I do not ask for permission. Fear does not keep me from taking risks. I do not indulge my addictions. I am a man of my word, period. I take my problems to men, not women. I do not show anger to my elderly mother. I do not tolerate my wife's attempts to belittle me. When name-calling begins, the discussion is over. I spend time with other men. I have my own private office or space someplace in my house. I exercise regularly. I do whatever it takes to keep my family in our home. I ask for help when I'm not being the man I want to be. I speak my mind in spite of my fear of confrontation. I honor my daily spiritual practice. I welcome feedback. I only apologize when it's appropriate, not simply to please others. I do not hide out at work just to avoid issues at home. I decide how I interact with my boys. I choose which of my friendships to maintain. I do not sell out who I am to placate others. I share my men's work with the men in my life. I do as I see fit. This list is here simply to inspire you. Maybe some of these nuts resonate with you. If so, use them and make them your own. Can you imagine the transformation in your life and relationships if you were this clear about your terms? Can you see how much easier it would be for you to make decisions? Do you understand how you owning your nuts makes it so much easier for those around you to rely upon you and respect you? Finding your nuts. Understanding the importance of finding and never compromising your nuts, your non-negotiable, unalterable terms, is the most important thing you, as a man, will do. Once you find your nuts, never forget them and never compromise them. Some men find their nuts over time, while others sit down and make a list. Either way, here are some of the questions you'll want to ask yourself. What's most important to me in life? Are there activities I used to do for fun that I no longer do? Is someone interfering and am I resentful because of it? Are there valuable friendships with men I've let slip away? Where am I currently having problems? Unhappy, frustrated, sad, angry, resentful in my life? And did compromising myself and what's important to me contribute to my feelings and or the situation? What dreams have I abandoned? If I'm going to be the man who I want to be, what will I have to do differently? Today's task, finding your nuts. Carve out a good chunk of time. Have privacy, no distractions. Breathe for a couple of minutes like this. Count to 7 in, hold for 7, count to 7 out. Do it a few times. Feel yourself relaxing and connecting to this important moment. Take the list of nuts offered above and identify candidates that suit you. Then methodically answer the 6 questions above. Don't rush it. This is your life. If you're going to shortchange this process, how committed are you really to becoming a better man? Take your time. Compile your first draft of nuts. This may be today's task, but for many men, it's a lifetime commitment. The more work we put into defining your nuts, the happier and more successful we'll be. And as we mature, we change. As we change, so must some of our nuts. This list you create today will be something you'll want to revisit periodically. For this first go, expect to come back to it a few times over the course of the next month. Let your nuts sink in. Run them by a man or group of men you respect. Get challenged. See what you're made of. See how committed you truly are to these new nuts. Then, live them and keep asking for help. My 5 nuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Enumerate them. 30 Days to a Better Man. Written by MCKAY.